Today I'm going to be sharing with you another version of my veggie soup that I've been making lately. I mix it up as the mood strikes me, so I'll just show you what I'm enjoying currently. My two boys and my husband enjoy a lot of variety from day to day. I am a creature of habit, so I tend to make some version of a vegetable soup for myself every day that includes a lot of different veggies. And I'll sort of get in a rut for a couple weeks and then I'll just change it up a little bit based on just, I don't know, being inspired by something new I see in the grocery store or just trying a different frozen vegetable or by what's in season at the time. So I get a lot of variety in that soup. And then I just love potatoes, sweet potatoes. So that tends to form the bulk of the food I eat on a daily basis. I try to change up the varieties of potatoes I get. It's also like what is looking good at the grocery store. And I do eat some grains, whole grains like millet and quinoa and buckwheat, especially. I have celiac, so I'm gluten free. And I like things really plain. I keep getting questions on the channel of like, well, how do you serve your millet? And I'm like that with my veggie soup. So I love, like, I know that sounds crazy, but I love plain cooked millet. I love plain steamed potatoes. My husband and kids will put a lot more condiments on things. They love mustard, they love hot sauces, they love salsa, especially my oldest son and my husband. My younger son is a little bit more like me. He kind of likes things simpler. He loves fruit. So we just all have different tastes. The common theme is that they're simple foods to make, largely in the Instapot or just raw, and that they're all whole plant foods. That's what we eat on a daily basis. Just one ingredient plants that we either eat by themselves or combine together in a recipe. So I hope you find this helpful. Okay, so here's basically what I'm going to put in my big pot. So I'm going to put a little water on the bottom, and then I'm just going to chop these things up roughly and put them in. Lately, I've been really enjoying turnip greens. Walmart has had them. They've been really nice, really good price. I've been loving throwing in a variety of just fresh herbs. I just like literally put in these things in my cart and I'm just like, oh, that looks fun. And just toss them all together in a soup. It always tastes good. I've been enjoying turnips too. We're in fall now, so I throw in some radishes. And yes, if you've never tried cooked radishes, seriously, you have to try them. They're so good. I love them. Sliced up mushrooms, even there, I'll try to get a little bit of variety by like sometimes getting brown, sometimes getting white. I have some celery. Actually, I hadn't been eating that for a couple weeks. I don't know. I just was eating other stuff, and now I'm back in that kick. Frozen zucchini, frozen green beans, because I've been loving that for months now. And then I'm still on a kick of I just love turmeric. I love it. The flavor is so good. And then I'm throwing in some dried parsley too and dill. I love dill. I found this kelp powder, and just for fun, I'm putting some of that in sometimes. I know it's super high in iodine, so I don't do it every day and not a big amount. So I'll just show you how I roughly throw this together. I'm going to use my big 8-quart Instapot today. I often use my 6-quart, but just today this is what's open and available and I'm going to use. I've covered the bottom of the insert with just enough water to cover the bottom. I don't even know what it is, probably a cup or something, just so nothing sticks. And the first thing I do is usually put in my anything fresh I'm cooking. Sometimes if I put it on the top, I've noticed like the frozen veggies will sort of block the steam from getting to it, and I like things really well cooked. So I just like really coarsely am chopping the celery, which is already washed, and I'm going to use one turnip today. I've also been sometimes throwing in rutabaga. It's just kind of fun to, we love Walmart home delivery for groceries. If you have that in your area, I cannot recommend it highly enough. It's usually great. Once in a while, there's an issue with like bad potatoes or something, but they've been really good about returns and stuff so far. And it saves us hours a week, and it's really good prices. So sometimes I just look through their whole produce section online and I'm just like, oh, that looks good, and it's a good price. price conscious for sure. Radishes, I'm probably going to put about, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 in there today. And I often cut them in half. Like, I'm not chopping in a beautiful way or anything. Like, that's my chopping. I put this together in about 3 minutes a day. And I often just like mostly use frozen veggies, and then it's literally open the bags and throw them in with some water. But I've kind of been in a kick of like liking some of this variety lately. So mushrooms, I just roughly chop up, and I'll probably put maybe 4 or 5 in as well. And again, these all go on the bottom because I tend to find they cook best. And I'm going to throw in the turnip greens as well. I just cut those kind of into strips. These are already washed as well. So I think I'll just kind of start cutting off the tops of these. And this is actually one of the reasons I kind of want to do the 8-quart, because when they're fresh like this, they actually take up a lot of bulk because they're really bulky. But then when they boil down, they like become a little clump of greens, right? Because greens shrink so much when you cook them. So the 8-quart kind of gives me more wiggle room to stuff in a bunch of veggies. I like making big batches of stuff, so I don't have to cook as often. So I'll put this in. So yeah, like a meal would consist of this veggie soup. I often like using romaine or some other kind of lettuce as a like scoop for a little bit of raw greens, and not even because I'm trying to get raw greens in, because I like it. It tastes yummy to me. So I'll do that if I have it. And then potatoes, usually some kind of potato. I find them really satisfying, cost effective, and really nutrient dense. They stick with me really well, give me super good energy. And again, if I'm craving variety that day for some reason, millet, quinoa, things like that, buckwheat, but the primary staples I rely on personally, for already, it's been going on for years. Potatoes, I always come back to potatoes and sweet potatoes as the primary source of my calories most days. And like my whole family eats potatoes, but I would say I'm the potato queen. My son sometimes makes fun of me because of how many potatoes I eat. So, you know. Okay, so I'm throwing in these bags, and I'm going to just chop a little bit of this parsley. I forgot about that. That's fine. It'll cook just fine. And then I always throw, so I'm just going to do like one little slice here of little slices of parsley. I put a ton of turmeric in. I don't measure anything, but I love it. I don't know if you can get like turmeric toxicity, but I don't know. It hasn't happened so far. I just love the taste. They're saying I love Indian flavors, so maybe that's why. And I know this is such a weird combo, but it works to me. Parsley and dill. Dill is another, like, if I can get fresh dill, I'm in heaven. Literally, a month or so ago, dill was in season, and my husband went to the grocery store for me, and he's like, I brought something for you, and he brought in a bouquet of pickling dill, and it was all over the kitchen. But like that to me is like a nice bouquet of flowers, just getting fresh dill. It was kind of funny. So I'm gonna put this in yet, and then some kelp powder. Again, I don't measure this, but I would guess, like, I don't use much of this because this is really intense. So probably a teaspoon worth, something like that, maybe. Just a little bit. Okay, I'll show you how I put this on. Okay, so here's the big Instapot. And fit the lid on in this little cutout over here. Follow the directions, close, go all the way to the right. And then you want to make sure this is set to sealing. Notice it doesn't click in. It just has to be pointing there so it can come to pressure. And I'm going to put this on pressure cook. I'm going to do a long time. Yep, that's fine. 27, doesn't really matter. I just like it super cooked. I drink all the liquid, so I don't think it matters too much to cook it to death. I just like it that way. Do whatever you like. And actually, wait, no, stop. I'm going to pressure cook, but I'm going to delay start because I actually don't need this right now. and I kind of like it warm. So I'm actually gonna do 3 hours from now. It's gonna start. So I just hit delay start down. Now I leave it and it'll beep. Now I know that in 3 hours from now, it will start heating up, coming to pressure. I'll let it naturally pressure release and I'll show it to you when it's done. I will not even be sharing a recipe in the description below just because there isn't one. There really isn't. Chop up any veggies that look appealing to you or use a bunch of bags of frozen veggies. Use herbs that you know you like, flavors you know you like, even if it seems weird, but like, you know, Italian would be like basil, oregano, thyme, let's say, and garlic, onion. My husband loves garlic and onion and everything. Play around. If you've never played around with these herbs, play around with it. Play around with spices. Some people love a lot of flavor and a lot of variety, so do that. You absolutely can. You can make different grains, different legumes, different potatoes, different vegetables every day, different spices if you want every day. You could throw in canned tomatoes. You know, there's endless possibilities. So you have to figure out for you what makes this way of eating enjoyable, fun, sustainable, simple. Some people need a lot of variety. Some people like making elaborate recipes. Go for it. That just doesn't work for me or for our family. But you find the groove that works for you. So the soup is done. I just turned off the Instapot. It's on lock, pressure release. So I'm just going to open it, lift off the lid, and I'll just show you. I didn't stir anything before so you could see all the spices at the top. It's no big deal. I just give it a stir, and it's just nice, thick, really nicely cooked, creamy sauce. Veggies. I like my stuff super cooked. So I will eat of this and potatoes until I've had my fill. And I just love this as something I've been enjoying this fall. Please consider liking and subscribing if you found this video helpful. I'll see you on the next one.